हैंडल वाला चेयर हैंडल हैंडल ऐसे पकड़ना है ना, यहाँ पे इधर अच्छा होगा।
Narasingaya Palad Lad Daini Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Shilatanka Nakhalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Hidaye Narsimha Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapadi Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanubinga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Singam Dalita Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya 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 Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya 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 Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Premanande हरे कृष्णा। यहाँ पे अभी भगवत गीता क्लास होने वाला है, तो जिन भक्तों के इंग्लिश में सुनना है तो बैठ सकते हैं। हरे कृष्णा।
जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जयो श्री गोपाल जयो श्री गोपाल जयो गौरनिताय जयो गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हो. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, chapter entitled Karma Yoga, verse number 22. Name parthasti kartavyam. Can you repeat? Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam Varta eva cha karmani. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literatures as follows. तामीश्वराणां परमं महेश्वरं तं देवतानां परमं च दैवतं पतिं पतीनां परमं परासदात् विदामदेवं भुवं नेशमीडयम् न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्चाभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते परास्य शक्तिर्विविधाय श्रूयते स्वभावकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and He is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under His control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, He is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than Him, and He is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between His body and His soul. He is absolute. All His senses are transcendental. Any one of His senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than Him or equal to Him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus His deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 6, verse numbers 7 and 8. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although He is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, He does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody to today's Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita class. And today, so we are on the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita entitled Karma Yoga. And the verse number is 22, as already read out. Once again, I would like to read the translation of this verse, and it says, O son of Pritha, there is no prescribed work for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. So, this is, in short, continuation of the theme that was discussed last week. And the theme that was discussed last week was yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat e vitaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. The meaning of this is, as a leader sets an example, yad yad acharati. Acharati means one who behaves. Acharan. Shrestha. Shrestha means a leader, one who is in the forefront. Yad yad acharati shreshtas. So the people, lokas tad anuvartate, the people follow the leader. It's a very simple thing, okay? And sayat pramanam kurute, that example which he sets, lokas tad anuvartate, they just follow that. Tat tat te vitarojana, means people follow what the leader does. So the same thing is continuing, and now he says, so why does he perform duties? Actually, he is not duty bound. We should understand one thing. In this material world, where we have come by taking birth, we are not free. Hum bandhan mein hai. We are bound. Can you guess what are we bound by? Just make a wild guess. What are we bound by? Can you see you have been bound by any ropes or anything? Doesn't look like. But what are you? We are all bound by something. Tell me what. The most simplest thing. Maya, okay. Anything else? The simplest thing, which everybody will immediately say, yes, we can understand. Desire, okay. Anything else? Simplest thing. Time bound. Don't we say time bound? Time is such a powerful force, it binds all of us. Everything has to happen in time. Otherwise, you are out of time. If you go a minute late for the flight, what happens? You miss the flight. If you go late to the railway station, you miss the train. If you go late to the examination hall, you are not allowed to enter the hall. See, everywhere it is time bound. Even bank, they will give you interest only after the particular period is over, not before that. Everything is time bound. So see, there are so many factors which are binding us. That is what is to be understood. So that means, Krishna says, I am not bound by anything. That is the difference between God and us. We are controlled by time, and God is the controller of time. That is why He is God. इसीलिए वो भगवान है और हम इंसान है. That's the difference. And the thing is, here there's a beautiful verse which is from the Shetashvara Upanishad, which we just read out. And I will just start with what is that verse telling us. Okay. Yes. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers. And He is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. So far as we can understand leaders, we think of the head of the state, we think of the CEO, the chief executive officer, and so on and so forth. At home, the mother or the father, they are the leaders. At every place, there is somebody who is a leader. But here it is talking about the planetary leaders, leader for this entire planet, leader for other planets. So that means you can imagine how vast is the domain of the Lord. When we talk in terms of my country, your state, my state, and all these things. But here he is talking in terms of planets and the entire creation. He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the leader of all the planets, of all the creation, the entire creation. That is his supreme position. So what does he say? Leader of all the demigods. I'm sure you know what is the difference between demigods and gods. Initially there was a confusion when I was new. Generally people are accustomed to thinking there are many gods. Am I right? How many of you feel there are many gods? Please raise your hand. You can raise your hand boldly, nothing wrong. Yes, there are many gods. Okay. But the fact is, by definition, there can be only one God. How many heads of state you can have in a country? Only one. How many father in a house? Only one. In the same way, for the entire creation, there is only one creator, and he is God. God means the one who is in supreme control. So who are the others? Therefore, there is a difference between God and demigods. That is what the Gita explains very nicely. Demigods are the leaders appointed by God. Just as the Prime Minister has his council of ministers, in the same way, God has his subordinates, God has those who help him in the administration of the entire universe, and they are known as demigods. So he is the leader of all the demigods. That's what is mentioned. That is the supreme position of the God. And he is transcendental to all of them. He is the supreme cause of all causes. Who causes rain? What is the understanding? Who causes rain? Indra. Who is in charge of fire? Agni Dev. Right? So every department has a departmental head. Department of learning? Saraswati. Department of wealth? Lakshmi. So see, every department has a head and everybody knows this. He is the cause of all causes. So we may attribute something to one particular head of the department, but he is the helm of all the departments, at the helm of all the departments. That is his supreme position. So in this world, we are bound by certain rules and regulations. We know there is no free lunch in this world. Everybody has to work. So we are bound to maintain ourselves. We have to work to maintain ourselves. We cannot remain idle. There's no chance. Everybody has to work. That is also binding on us. Just as we are time bound, we are also bound by duties. We have got to discharge our duties. Otherwise, khana nahi milega. That is our position. Right? We have needs and we have wants. What is the difference between needs and wants? Need is something essential, without which you can't do. You need air to breathe. There's no choice. You definitely need air, you definitely need water. These are the basic minimums. But other than that is wants. Wants are optional. You may have it or you may not have it. Even without it, you can survive. It's a question of desire. Wants stem from desire, but needs stem from necessity. Needs are essentials, wants are optional. Like food is a need. You can't survive without food. But ice cream is a want. If you get ice cream, okay, you enjoy it. You don't get ice cream, but if you still have some food, good enough. Like that. Needs are primary, wants are secondary. Needs are limited, wants can be unlimited. The more you have, the more you want. That is the nature of this world. That is the nature of our greed. They say there is enough in this world, there is not enough in this world, even for one man's greed. but there is enough in this world for everybody's need. That is the point. But what is the position of God? It is explained in this shloka that we just read. Swabhavaki jnana bala kriyacha. What is the meaning of this? We'll again go back to that verse. It's interesting. It says, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate na tat samaschabhyadikascha drushyate parasya shaktir vividhaya shruyate swabhavaki jnana bala kriyacha. We are reading this verse to understand the supreme position of the Lord. It says, for Him there is no need to work like how we are working. We are working for our daily necessities, without which we can't survive. For Him everything is already provided. Everything is at His beck and call. He just has to think and He has it. He doesn't have to strive to get it. And everything is within His reach and control. We are subject to control. That's the difference. Parasya Shaktir. Parasya Shaktir means the energy, the power of the Supreme. Para means Supreme. The Supreme Lord. Vividhaiva Shruyate. It is variegated. It's not one or two. Innumerable, infinite energies He is controlling. And how are they? Swabhavaki jnana bala kriyacha. That means it is like an internal understanding, like an internal wiring. He just has to think and his energies do it. He doesn't have to give and go and tell them, I want this, get it done. I'll give you 1 day's time to do it. Nothing like that. He just thinks and things begin to happen. That is his supreme position. Everything is self-sustaining or self-generating. That is his supreme power. Now to understand this, we can take a simple example in our life how it works. Otherwise we may think it is something too far-fetched. But even in our life, for example, supposing somebody is learning to drive a car and the first time he goes on the road at the steering wheel and a BST bus comes from the opposite side, what happens? Becomes nervous, isn't it? Such a huge bus coming straight, coming from the opposite side. Immediately, the person may press the brake and bring the car to a halt, just to protect himself, because he is not yet used to the traffic. Then he has to train himself to understand, oh, the bus is coming from the opposite side, it is going into another lane, so I need not fear. We are not going to dash. I will go my way and they will go their way. But he needs to get some training for that. That is why training is given for anybody who has to drive a car. So in this way, in everything that we do in our daily lives, we have to get trained. But the Lord is not like that. For Him, everything automatically falls in place. He doesn't have to learn anything. There's nothing that He doesn't know. That is His supreme position. Some of the finer elements are very nicely explained in the Bhagavad Gita. And who is telling this? The Lord Himself is explaining Himself. If He doesn't tell, we will never know it. That is why. He is the controller of all other controllers. The word Ishvara means controller. That is the meaning to that word. And it is used for the Lord because He is the supreme controller. That is why Bhagwan ko Ishwar bolte hain. And He is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under His control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. So this you have to understand. There may be different departmental heads, but who is giving them the authority and who is giving them the ability to run the department? He is doing it. He gives them the control, He gives them the authority, and then they do it. That is His special position. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. So even the demigods, they worship God. That is the point. And it is said he is transcendental. What is the meaning of transcendental? You have to understand this also. Very often we hear this term. Transcendental means going beyond the boundary of time and space. That is the meaning of transcendental. Not limited by space and not controlled by time. That is the meaning of transcendental. So that is his supreme position. For him, it doesn't matter whether you are in Mumbai or New York. He is equally accessible to everybody. That is why he is transcendental. Space does not make any difference. And also time. Present, past and future are all in his grip. We may wonder how is that possible. It's a very, very simple example, we can try to understand that. There is a movie. The movie is first conceived by the director. Even before it is filmed also, it is conceived by the director. He thinks this is going to be the storyline and these are going to be the scenes and this is how it will run. So they may shoot the whole thing. But now, when it comes to editing part of it, then he may give a second thought. Which scene to play first? According to that, the whole storyline will run. If he wants to show the whole movie as a flashback, then the end will be shown first. And from there, an elderly person will reflect. Oh, then he will think of his childhood and how the whole thing started, and the movie will flow. So what happens? The last part comes to the first. So this is the position of the director. The director can change and juxtapose the scenes according to his ideas. The scenes are the same, but he will put something in the front, something at the back. Exactly that way, time is in the control of God. आगे पीछे कुछ भी कर सकते हैं वो. He can do it. But we are not in a position to shift it. For us, what is our quota? 24 hours in a day is the quota given to us. 24 hours of time we have. Can you increase it by 1 second? Can you reduce it by 1 second? Can you make a distinction between somebody who is senior and somebody who is junior? Does Trump or Narendra Modi get more? Or does a beggar in the street of Bombay get less? No. Given is given. Nobody can change it. That is his control. That is how his energies work. This is what we have to understand. This is how the picture of God is given. And so he says, I am not bound by anything. I don't have to work. Everything is easily available for me. Everything is accessible. I just think and it happens. So why should I work? There is no duty enjoined upon me. We have duty. A student has to study. A teacher has to teach. A father has to provide. A mother has to take care. So many things are there. But for him, nothing. He has no designation also. Is he mother? Is he father? He is everything. Bandhu, Madhav, Sakha, Bandhu, everything. Whatever you say, everything. Mata, Pita, Guru, Daivam, everything is there. He is all inclusive. But yet, what does he say? I still work. Why? He says, in the earlier verse he has already mentioned, Yadyat Acharati Shrestha. So he is the topmost. So unless he sets an example, things will not go out right. If at the top itself there is deviation, there will be great amount of deviation down the line. And everything will go topsy-turvy. Therefore, he says, first, I will set the discipline. I will work myself. I will do things in order. For example, in Dwarka, Krishna had how many wives? Right, 16,108. You may be wondering, that is why they call this mythology. ये झूठ है, ये सच नहीं हो सकता. A man can't maintain one wife properly and he has got 16,108. So you must be wondering, probably every wife will get one day chance to be with the husband. ऐसा नहीं होता. He was with every wife all the time. How is that? Again, let us go back to the point that he is transcendental. That means he is the controller of time. He can divide himself into 16,108 persons and everybody is identical and he can be with everybody at the same time, but yet he reacts or responds to each one according to how they want. It is not that his one move, all the 16,108 will make the same move. No, it's not like that. Each one he will reciprocate with the desire of the spouse or the partner. That is his special position. He is supremely independent. That is his other feature. So when we understand who is God and what is his position, then what can you say for those people who artificially stand up and say, I am God? How flimsy or how foolish that statement can be. Can anybody match this? In Dwarka, even Narad Muni was puzzled. He said, how can he maintain 16,108 wives at the same time? So he took an inspection tour and he started going to all the palaces. And in every palace he found a Krishna with the wife in that palace and with the children in that palace. And everywhere he was doing different duties. Some place he was assisting his wife, some ways he was playing with the children, he was doing so many other things. And it is explained that he would get up in the morning and perform all the duties that is supposed to be performed by a householder. Like it is explained that there are some Panchabhuta Yagya one has to do on a daily basis. There are so many debts we have in our life and we have to repay the debt. So there are different offerings we have to do to different demigods. Everything Krishna was doing on a daily basis. So why did he have to do it? He is the supreme controller, he is the supreme leader. Everybody is under his command. But still he did that to set an example. That is what is explained in this verse. The position that he is taken, he is living up to that position. And he has the capacity to live up to that. If he married 16,108 wives, he also had the capacity to maintain them and keep them happy. Not just that you exist, that's all. No, not existing. They are happy. They are fully provided for, fully satisfied. That was his special position. And another thing, now we will take one example to explain this verse still better. We know the story of Putana. For those who don't know, I'll just briefly say. When Krishna was born and the information was given by Narad Muni to Kamsa that the person who is going to kill you has taken birth. Warning, like they write in the mall, na? You are under CCTV surveillance. A camera is watching you. In that way, Narad Muni went and gave the intimation to Kamsa. Kamsa, the person who is going to kill you has already taken birth. Now what happened to Kamsa? Immediately he became anxious. He got into anxiety and he started taking measures to find out where is that child and how to kill that child. This is material calculation. Why? Those who understand God's supreme position know that nobody can harm him in any way. Again, let us see, we have to understand what is our relationship with God. Based on all these facts, we have one relation with God. And what is that? The relationship of surrender. When you surrender to God, everything will go well in your life. But what kind of surrender? Not out of fear. He doesn't want that. He is the most merciful and the most loving person. He loves each one of us. So he doesn't want us to surrender to him in fear. No, he doesn't want that. What does he want? He wants us to surrender to him in love. Prem se kaho. That's what he wants. And that love should not be threatened, but should be spontaneous. And that is the purpose of human life. This is the supreme goal of human life, to develop love for God. And that is why we read all these scriptures. Here we have understanding. You want to love somebody, at least you must know who the person is. You must know what are the qualities of the person. You must understand what are the characteristics of the person, how to approach the person, what will please that person. Only then you can love the person. And you must also know for sure that the person is there. You see, we face one problem. God is so personal with each one of us that He is actually holding each one of us. We should know He holds us with such gentle care. But He is holding us so gently, you don't even know that He is there. He holds you with such gentle care, you don't even know that He is there. That is how He is able to hold you. So therefore, there are some people who don't even believe that there is God because of this fact. He is there, but He doesn't reveal Himself. But He will reveal Himself provided you show the intense desire to see Him. He can selectively reveal Himself. That is His special feature. If I am in this room, anybody who comes to this room can see me. If you are in this room, anybody who comes here can see you. We have no selection choice, but He has that selection choice. He will reveal Himself selectively to those whom He wants, and He will hide Himself from those to whom He doesn't want to reveal Himself. That is His special characteristic. There are so many features about God. That is why we should know Him. And to know Him, we read the scriptures. In the Bhagavad Gita, He explains His thought process, how He thinks, and He also explains His likes and dislikes, what He likes, what He does not like. And He also tells what He wants us to do. In the Bhagavad Gita, He says, Man mana bhava mat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishise yuktaivam mamatmanam mat parayanam. So He says, just become my devotee. Man mana bhava mat bhakto. Madhyaji means worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. Mame vaishise yuktaivam, you will certainly come to me by doing these practices. Mamatmanam mat parayanam. I will accept you. That's what He says. So He is revealing His thought process. He is telling us what He wants from us. And in the Bhagavatam, He has revealed so many of His pastimes with His devotees. And those pastimes are very special because He is special. And by understanding those pastimes, we get inspiration as how when we utilize our time in developing our relationship with Krishna, please remember, we are actually investing our time. We have been given 24 hours a day. This 24 hours can be divided into 3 parts. 8 hours, we all know standard working time for an office is 8 hours. We all know that. It is internationally so. Okay? So 8 hours for your livelihood, roji roti. Another 8 hours for your physical body. You have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to bathe, hygienic cleaning is required. So for this, another 8 hours. And what about the remaining 8 hours? It is to connect to God. And therefore in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, it is given that one has to chant 64 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra every day. 64 rounds means it takes 8 hours. But then Prabhupada, that great personality who actually internationalized the Gita, when he went abroad and he started telling that you have to chant 64 rounds, immediately those people stood up. We can't chant 64 rounds. We have got so many other duties to perform. Please, give us some concession. He said, okay, chant 32 rounds, 50% discount. 32, too much. Because chanting 1 round takes about 7.5 minutes. 15 minutes you can chant 2 rounds in a proper way. So 2 hours it will take to chant 16 rounds. So he says, 32 rounds, that means only 4 hours. I said, no, that's too much. We can't do it. Okay, I give you further concession. Chant 16 rounds every day. And I can't give you any further discount. That's the limit. And that was set as the standard for ISKCON. So devotees in ISKCON are chanting 16 rounds minimum. You can chant more, but not less than this. So what is this? This is something actually that has been formulated by the Lord Himself. 8 hours of devotional activity one is expected to do. Out of which Prabhupada says at least take 2 hours, that means 16 rounds per day, to chant His names. And what is so special about chanting God's names? What is so special? His names are absolute. That is the speciality of His name. They are non-different from Him. That is not the case with other things. If you are thirsty and you want water, can you just go on chanting water, water? Will your thirst be quenched? You have to drink water. So the word water and the substance water are two separate things. The word water will only denote that you want water. But you have to actually go and get water. But so far as he is concerned, if you take his name, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar, he is incarnating in his name. That is his special feature. So he makes himself available in his name. He can do that. We cannot do that. That is the difference between God and us. We should know that. That is why we chant his names. When you chant his names attentively, you are actually interacting with him one to one. So you can see the seriousness of it. It is not a time pass activity. That is why, and what do we need to chant his names? How much money you have to pay? What are the charges for chanting? Nothing. You don't have to pay anything. But you have to pay in his currency. He has also given you a currency. What is his currency? Time. So how much time it takes? That's the point. And that is where people fail. I have no time. Chanting 16 rounds. No. We have one brahmachari who likes to use pun, and he makes fun. So he says, Sola mala pet me gola. People get scared if you hear Sola mala. Right? How can I do that? It's too much. I can't spare so much time. We are so very choosy of our time. What to do with our time? But Krishna says, invest your time in me and you will get more than the expected returns. More than what you can expect, I can give it to you. But first come forward and invest your time in me. In this regard, there is also one beautiful story. There was Sanatana Goswami. He is one of our gurus in our parampara. And he was living in Vrindavan. This is a true story. So there was one person who actually approached, who was praying to Lord Shiva. He was telling that I want a parasmani. Parasmani means it is a touchstone. You touch anything with that will turn into gold. So he was asking for that kind of a boon. So he told him, you go to Sanatana Goswami, he's a great saint, he's staying there in Vrindavan, and you ask him, he will give you parasmani. You don't ask me how he came and told him, dream mein bola ki samne bola, that is a separate issue. So this person actually went to Sanatana Goswami, and when he went to Sanatana Goswami, he said, can you give me the parasmani? He said, yes, if you want, you take it. Where is it? There is a dustbin over there, where I throw all the refuse and waste. It is kept over there. So he went and he picked it up and he got the parasmani. So he said, yes. So he tested it, touched it to a stone, it turned into gold. Wow, he became very happy and he walked off. After some time, one thought came to him. If it was so very precious, why was it put in the dustbin? Where you throw things which you don't want. So obviously he must be having something better than this. That is why he has discarded this. So he went back to him and he said, a little doubt, थोड़ा सा clarification के लिए आया हूँ. You have given me what I wanted, but is there something better you can give me if I give it back to you? He said, yes, there is something, certainly I have something better for you. If you want, you will get it. So then, can I have it? One condition, that Paras money which I have given you, first go and throw it in the Yamuna river and come back. Then I will give you. Now, this is like Kaun Banega Karodpati, you know. When you do the questions there, and they say, if you answer wrong, you will lose everything. Otherwise, you will get more. You want to stop at this point or you want to continue? So like that. Should I give up the Paras money or should I take the risk and ask for something better? But he took courage and he went and threw it in the Yamuna. Fek diya. And he came back. Okay, do you have it? He said, come. And he whispered the Maha Mantra in his ears. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He said, what? He said, yes, this is more valuable than the touchstone which can turn things into gold. Because in His names, the Lord is incarnating Himself. So if you attentively chant these names, you will see a positive difference in your life and you will see gradually the progress that you make, and you will see all those situations where you can have such riches which even money cannot buy. That is it. So, this is the power of chanting the holy names of the Lord. It is not simple. It is actually very simple. But what it needs? Sincerity and faith. These are the two qualities required to chant. And to develop that faith, we attend satsang, where gradually, little by little, our faith will gradually increase, especially in the association of devotees who have faith and who have taken up this practice in their life and who have advanced in that direction. So when you look at them, you look at their life, then you develop that intrinsic faith little by little. And that is how one progresses in the path of bhakti. So this is how Krishna is helping us to move forward. He has given us things which you need to acquire so that you don't buy things you don't require. That is His greatness. Okay? He is independent, whereas we are dependent on Him. That is His supreme position that we have to understand. We should learn to depend on Him. So what is the simple formula for us? Do your best. We cannot be lazy. I will share with you one very nice thing I heard. I was putting on the YouTube and there I came. There are many sages, there are many kathakars who give katha. And there was one such kathakar from Vrindavan. Unfortunately, I don't remember his name now. But I have just copied down these two lines that he mentioned. It was very beautiful. Arjun was not willing to fight. This whole Gita is because of that. He said, I don't want to fight. Krishna told him, you should fight. So, to convince Arjun why he should fight, this is what Krishna told Arjun. What did he say? Arjun, agar maine tumhare liye kiya. He says, if I fight the war for you, and you say, I don't want to fight, so you are expecting that I should fight the war for you. What will happen? Arjun, agar maine tumhare liye kiya, to tum shunya ho jaogi. If I fight this war for you, you will be degraded. Why? What will people say? Arjun did not fight the war. Krishna fought the war for him. Arjun has no merit. He could not win the war. Actually, Krishna fought the war. So he says, Arjun, मैंने तुम्हारे लिए किया तो तुम शून्य हो जाओगे. Then he said, Arjun, मैंने तुम्हारे से किया. If I make it done through you, not for you, but through you, if I make the war happen and make you fight, then tum purna ho jaoge. Then you will be fulfilled. Otherwise you will be zero, otherwise you will be complete. That's the difference. So that is how Krishna deals with each one of us. He will never encourage us to be lazy. He wants us to stand up, use our intelligence, use our God-given ability, use our time, and to go ahead and discharge our responsibility. We cannot shirk our responsibility, we have to discharge our responsibility. But He is there to help us. First, He gives us the ability. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo pranava sarva vedeshu paurusham shabdake paurusham nrisham. Paurusham nrisham means he says, I am the ability in man. When we have the ability to work, that ability is Krishna's grace on us. So He is giving us the grace, but He expects us to stand up and work. We cannot sit down and become idle. He never encourages laziness. He wants industriousness. That is what He wants us to do. But He is there to support us, and we should be depending on Him. So that is what we should do. Your best. Leave the rest. Don't unnecessarily get tensed up. Don't become anxious. Don't have to take up anxiety. If you sincerely discharge your responsibility, leave the rest. But then on whom to depend? The result is not in our hands. Depend on Him. Depend on Him to pass the test. That is how things work out for us when you learn to depend on Krishna. So, and there's another one beautiful quote by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. This is the practical application of the Gita. We are studying these lofty principles, but how does it apply in our day-to-day life? In our day-to-day life, we always face problems in our relationship with people. For relationship to happen, there must be at least two people to interact. Okay? So it is said, we tend to place ourselves in the center of a relationship instead of placing the other person in the center. This is what happens. If both people focus on placing the other person before themselves, then there would be much higher level of communication. Just see what a simple application it is. Always you try to put yourself in the center. About putting yourself in the center, there's one very nice example. Supposing there is a pond, there's water, and you throw a pebble in the pond, what will happen? Ripples will form. And it will start from the point where the pebble touches the water, and it will spread it in all directions. So what is the shape of the ripple? It is in circles. It goes out in circles. But if you see, so many circles are seen, but all the circles have the same center. So understand, God is the center of the whole creation. And so when He is put in the center, everything will be harmonious. There will be no circles crossing each other. All the circles have the same center. So these circles will not cross each other. But if you have different centers, if you put two stones, then there will be ripples emanating from two centers. And what will happen? All the circles will cross each other. There is disharmony in society because of that. Let Krishna be the center. So therefore, when we learn in our relationship with Krishna, if we learn to make Krishna the center, and don't put ourselves in the center, that is why we get anxiety when you put ourselves in the center. What will happen? We are worried about the result. But if you put Krishna in the center, you have the peace of mind. He will take care. He is there, He will take care. I have done my duty. Do your best, leave the rest, depend on Him to pass the test. This is the simple answer. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So I think now it's time for Kirtan. Kirtan party is here. Or we can take some questions if somebody has, and then we can move on. Anybody has any questions? Yeah, Kirtan party is here, right? If nobody has questions, we can go for the Kirtan. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Giving a 5-minute slot from 30 till 35.
Yeah, you can.